What's up, everybody? It is Izzy, your favorite muscle-bound idiot. Well, realistically, maybe more like one of your top 10 favorite muscle-bound idiots. But anyway, today is episode 106 of the Q&A, I think. So if you enjoy the Q&As, please go over to that like button and smash it for the algorithm to help support the Q&A and the channel. Without further ado, let's do the first question. Have you ever dealt with piriformis syndrome? No. I say this so often, and most people just completely ignore me, I guess, because of money, I don't know, laziness, not sure. But one of the best things that you can do for your lifting is to develop a relationship with a competent PT that actually knows lifting, maybe even lifts themselves. You will have injuries someday, and having someone that actually knows how to help versus just telling you to stop lifting is going to be crucial to recovering faster. Thoughts on CP3 to Golden State? I expect Golden State to be worse. You don't get better as an aging team that struggles defensively by adding an undersized old guy who can no longer play good defense. Now, it will be a boon to them in non-Steph minutes because Chris Paul can organize good offense even at his current age, but he is well on the decline, and I don't like the construction of the roster. It's an old, slow team. Can you explain what your set numbers mean to a noob? Set 1 of 1 means I am showing you set 1 of 1 set that I did. So I only did 1 set on that movement. Now, maybe you're confused because you see me doing 2 sets for different pressing exercises, but it's 1 set per arm. So I'm showing you the 1 set that I did for that arm. If it said something like set 1 of 3, I'm showing you set 1 of 3 sets I did on that movement. Set 2 of 3, I'm showing you set 2, etc. Smith good mornings versus safety bar good mornings. Any considerations? So personally, I go with the safety bar because 1, it's going to have more carryover to barbell deadlifts, which I'm going to make a big run on as soon as my bicep tendon allows me to do. 2, it doesn't bother my shoulders and elbows. But 3, Smith machine good mornings are much easier to standardize and they're more stable. Try both, see what you like. How do you determine how long to rest between sets for hypertrophy? It seems that I benefit from longer rests, but taken to the extreme end, like 5 to 10 minutes between isolations, is that still beneficial? So personally, I have a minimum of 3 minutes between sets, as that's going to guarantee full central nervous system recovery between sets, so you don't have decreased recruitment in subsequent sets, which is going to increase the amount of volume that you have to do and make your workouts less efficient. But if taken to the opposite extreme, you are also making your workouts less efficient. Like, how are you going to get through a 15 to 20 set workout with 10-minute rests between sets? That's just not going to happen. That's going to become untenable from a logistical perspective. Second, you're going to miss out on the post-activation potentiation effect of your first set if you're resting much longer than, say, 5 minutes between sets. Now, if you're doing something like higher rep barbell deadlift variations or barbell squat variations, or even machines for that matter, you might want to rest in the 7 to 10 minute range, maybe slightly longer than 5 minutes. Otherwise, cardio can be the limiting factor. But for the most part, I would not rest more than about 5 minutes between sets. Any idea why performance is better on upper body days after a lower body day versus doing it after a rest day? I mean, it doesn't really matter. If you notice that performance is better, just do the setup where performance is better. That said, I rarely see this, but when I do see this, it's usually because the individual detrains quickly. And what that typically is caused by is them being either very slow twitch or even having like an endurance training history in their past. So it could be that. If lower back fatigue is an issue, should I rotate my leg days between squats plus deadlifts and leg press plus leg curl, or squats plus leg curl and deadlift plus leg press? So that's just going to depend on how far apart the days are that you're training both movement. For example, like if you're doing a every other day full body program like I am, and you do squat plus leg curl and deadlift plus leg press, you're still training your lower back every single training session. So it's not going to give you much of an enhanced lower back recovery effect. So in that case, you would pretty much have to do squats and deads on the same day so that one of your days is the lower back break. And by the way, leg press isn't always completely lower back fatigue free, just saying. However, a really big consideration that you have to make here is that if you're going to train squats and deadlifts on the same day, whichever one you do second is going to suffer really, really badly unless you're picking extremely high SFR variations, which is probably what you should do in this situation anyway. Once you get to the point where you've isolated lower back fatigue as the main reason that your squat and deadlift patterns aren't progressing, there's really only two good choices in my opinion, because I don't like training them on the same day because one of them just suffers too much. So make sure you're taking at least 3 to 5 days between squat and deadlift. And if you're already doing that, the next solution, the best solution, rather than the one that you said here, is to look at better, higher SFR variations like machine squats and RDLs or SLDL. What effects do you think PEDs have had on your programming? None whatsoever. I have natural clients that literally use the exact same training program as me, or similar program depending on how the split is set up. So here's the thing. Any recovery advantages that are given to you by PEDs tend to immediately be canceled out by the fact that they make you so much stronger. And this is true even for naturals that are really, really strong. When you're deadlifting 6 and 7 plates, you have to use high SFR variations, and actually your volume and your frequency that you can tolerate, they go down. And this happens to strong naturals too, but it happens to like all enhanced. If your shoe has a hole, why don't you get a new pair of Olympic lifting shoes? Why do you care? I mean, does it bother you that much? You not only made a comment on a post about this, but now you ask for clarification in the Q&A as well. It's because these Olympic lifting shoes are imported from Brazil. They cost like $140, and I don't want to buy a new pair. I wear things until they break. It's still functional. Are you going to rotate to a new squat movement now that you are already back at 500 on this variation? Great set. Well, thank you. But no, I'm not going to do that because for me, that would just be a waste of the 2 weeks that I've already invested into the safety bar. If I rotate to like a machine or the Smith or something now, this will just have been 2 weeks of neurological gains for absolutely no point. Plus, I want to have a higher free weight squat right now for my own emotional funsies purposes. So what I'm going to do is find the highest weight that I can go to before the shaking becomes a problem. It wasn't a problem here. I did have some problems at 517 pounds, so it could be coming up really soon. But I'm going to try and fix the shaking problem because it just sits wrong with me that it's one thing to choose not to do free weight squats. It's another thing to physically not be able to do them. And I just don't like that idea. And I don't like giving up. So I'm going to try to figure out the shaking and I'm going to keep progressing from here. If nothing else, I can do 500 for 15 or something. Why do so many bodybuilders use glucose disposal agent supplements? Is this an enhanced bodybuilder thing? Yes, it is. It's pretty much never going to be a problem for a natural to regulate their blood sugar. However, enhanced bodybuilders often take human growth hormone, and sometimes they take human growth hormone in very large amounts. And one of the side effects of human growth hormone, especially in large amounts, is elevated fasting and otherwise blood sugar. So using metformin or actual insulin or glucose disposal agents like berberine can bring that back to normal. All right, folks, that is it for today's Q&A. Remember, if you like the Q&A, please hit the like button on YouTube when it comes out on YouTube. If you'd like to become a more substantial supporter of the Q&A, I'm going to put a link here on the screen to Patreon, which you'll also be able to find in the description box on YouTube, and you can do that for $1 a month. If you'd like to work with me directly for coaching, simply shoot me a DM on Instagram, or you can find my email in the description box on YouTube. Instagram is going to get you a little bit faster response, just being honest. And if you want to check out my ebooks, you can find a link to do that in my bio on Instagram or in the description box on YouTube. So I will be back on Wednesday for another full body session, but this time featuring absolutely zero unilateral pressing. So I'll do a behind the neck press with 2 plates and a 45-degree Smith incline with 3 plates, and we'll just see how that goes and progress from there. Should be fun. Enjoy the beginning of the week, folks. Have a good one. Bye.